Can you guys see it?
Yes, thank you, Boris. So does this just involve one person reading, I think?
I think it is overall, I think it is one person. It is not a dialogue between two people, but it is
Okay.
long. So maybe there is like verses over here. So
Yes.
just a thought, if one person wants to do one and another person wants to do another, if we have to recite the
Yeah,
whole Bhāvanā Battīsī, yes, there are 32 verses.
that's a good idea. Albie, would you like to read?
Okay, Kripa, I can.
And let me see, anyone else want to read today? Um,
I
can try.
can do, I don't mind.
okay, so who wants to, Bruffleby or Boris? One of
Praful,
you?
go ahead, that's okay.
Yes, I'll try.
Okay, thank you. So LBG, please start.
Okay. During the 11th century of the Vikram era, the renowned Acharya Amrita Gati was regarded with respect in the royal court of the eloquent King Munja. King Munja was the ruler of Ujjain. He himself was a great scholar and poet. Acharya Amit Gati was highly learned scholar and the author of various texts on different subjects. All his works were written in the Sanskrit language. He completed his famous work Shubha Sita Ratna Sandoha in Vikram Samvat 1050 and Dharma Pariksha in Vikram Samvat 1070. The content and language style of his works are simple, profound, and interesting. Some of his notable compositions include Shubha Sita Ratna Sandoha, Dharma Pariksha, Bhavna Dvatrim Satika, Pancha Sangraha, Upasakachara, and Aradhana. Shubha Sita Ratna Sandoha is a collection of wise sayings. It consists of 32 chapters and 922 verses. Shubha Sita holds an important place in the literature of moral teachings. Enthusiasts of Shubha Sitas should definitely study his collection. Dharma Pariksha is a unique text in Sanskrit literature. It presents the myths and beliefs of Puranas in an entertaining manner, portraying them in an incredible way. It contains 1945 verses. Those who appreciate philosophical love should definitely study it. The presented passage is the Hindi poetic translation of your work Bhavna Dvatrim Satika done by Sri Jugla Kishorji Yugla of Kota. Should I continue or would someone else read from here?
Yeah, Bruffleby, maybe you can do one verse and
Okay.
then LBG come back as well for the second.
Yeah. Okay. भावना बतीसी प्रेम भावना हो सब जीवों से गुणीजनों में मैं हर्ष प्रभो करुणा स्रोत बहे दुखियों पर दुर्जन में मध्यस्थ विभो. Hey, feelings of love toward all living beings, O Lord, I rejoice in company of the virtuous ones. Let streams of compassion flow towards the suffering and remain neutral towards the wicked.
यह
यह
अनंत
Okay, sorry. Yeah, carry on.
थैंक यू प्रफुल जी. यह अनंत बाल सीता आत्मा हो शरीर से भिन्न प्रभु जो होती तलवार म्यान से वह अनंत बला दो मुझको. This soul with infinite strength and virtue is separate from the body, just as a sword is separate from its sheath. O Lord, grant me that infinite strength to realize the true nature of soul.
Okay. सुख दुख वैरी बंधु वर्ग में कमचा कनक में समता हो वन उपवन प्रसाद कफ में नहीं खेद नहीं ममता हो. happiness and sorrow, enemy and friend groups, glass and gold, all are seen with equanimity. In a forest or garden, palace or hut, there is neither regret nor attachment.
जिस सुंदर आत्मा पथ पर चलकर जीते मोह मन माथा, वहाँ सुंदरा पथ ही प्रभु मेरा बना रहे अनुशीलना पथ. By walking on the most beautiful path, one conquers delusion, pride, and desire. O Lord, let that beautiful path become my path of practice.
Okay. एकेंद्रिय आदि का प्राणी की यदि मैंने हिंसा की हो, शुद्ध हृदय से कहता हूँ, वह निष्फल हो दुष्कृत्य प्रभु. If I have harmed a single sensed or other living beings, I sincerely pray with a pure heart, O Lord, let that sinful act be rendered fruitless.
मोक्ष मार्ग प्रतिकूला प्रवर्तना जो कुछ किया कषायों से, विपता गमना सब कलुषा मेरे मिट जाए सद्भावों से. All actions that oppose the path to liberation were driven by passions. May the impurity of all such misguided wanderings be erased through noble dispositions, sadbhavas.
चतुर्वेद्य विक्षत करता क्यों प्रभु, मैं भी आदि उपांत अपनी निंदा आलोचना से करता हूँ मैं पापों की समता. Just as a skilled physician examines and treats, O Lord, I also, through self-criticism and introspection, will subdue my sins.
सत्य अहिंसादिका व्रता में भी में हृदय मलिना किया, व्रता विपरीता प्रवर्तना करके शिलाचारना विलीना किया. Even in the vows of truth and non-violence, I have stained my heart. By acting contrary to these vows, I have destroyed virtuous conduct.
कभी वासना की सरिता का गहना सलील मुझ पर छाए, पिकारा वासना की मदिरा मुझ में पागलपन आया. Sometimes the deep waters or river of desire have overshadowed me. By drinking the wine of sensual pleasures, madness has taken over me.
Sorry, we'll stop there for a second. Anubhavji has joined. Would you like us to continue, or what shall we do?
No, I think we can stop here. Just complete this one. Kabhi Vasna Ki Sarita Ka. Can we just one more time read the translation of this?
Mhm.
Okay,
Rahul.
sometimes in the deep waters of the rivers of desire have overwhelmed me. By drinking the wine of sensual pleasures, madness has taken over me.
Okay, thank you. Let's start with Mangalacharya. You want to start with Mangalacharya. Namo Arhantaram, Namo Siddharam, Namo Airinyadam, Namo Vachayadam, Namo Esavasapudam, Mangalam Bhagwan Viro, Mangalam Vakimukum, Mangalam Kunda Kundatyo, Chain Dharmostu Mangalam, Sarvamangalya Mangalyam, Sarvakalyana Karakam, Pradhanam Sarvadharmanam, Chainam Chaitu Shasanam, Chainam Chaitu Shasanam, Chainam Chaitu Shasanam, Mokshamargasya Nitaram, Vektaram Karma Bhupratam, Yataram Vishwatattvanam Vande Tattvajñāna Vande Tattvajñāna Vande Tattvajñāna. Topic which we all are discussing today is Bhāvanā Battīsī, and it's one of the very well celebrated piece of poetry that is read across different sects of Jainism. And the original name of it is Bhāvanā Battīsī, and it has been written by Acharya Amit Gati. So it's beautiful in ways that it along with the flavor of spirituality, it also talks about the morality, about how our conduct should be, about how and what we should be celebrating, we should be thinking, how our inner reflection should be. So therefore there are 32 stanzas. We have Acharya Amit Gati, who is describing that how grateful we are towards our Bhagwan, what the real path of dharma is, what is it that we should do unto our fellow jivas. So all these things are, celebrated in this piece of poetry. And therefore, in Hindi, when it was translated, the translation which we will be reading, even that translation is named as Neerav Nirjhar. So it's like a very calm and pacifying waterfall. So it's the different reflections, different bhavnae, which I am celebrating, and they are so pacifying, they're so uplifting that as if there is an entire waterfall that is falling gracefully within me. So that is how it gets its name. So I'll start reading it. Uh, the introduction of Acharya Amit Dev must have already been read by everybody. So we'll not read that again. Let's start directly with what Acharya Dev is saying in this. भावना बत्तीसी प्रेम भाव हो सब जीवों से गुणी जनों में हर्ष प्रभु करुणा स्रोत बहे दुखियों पर दुर्जन में मध्यस्थ विभो. So we are being told that we have to behave with our fellow beings in four different types. Four types of behavior towards four types of being. First, for everybody, for the life itself, if any being is living being, if any substance is jiv, regardless of their body type, regardless of their gati, regardless of their gender, regardless of their size, what is that one emotion that I need to carry? How my feelings should prosper seeing those jivas? Have feelings of love, prem bhav, ho sab jivom. In Sanskrit, it is called satveshu maitri. So it's a beautiful word. Maitri is friendship. Friendship without any transactional obligation that, okay, if I'm being your friend, you have to be mine. No, there is no give and take relationship. This is maitri, means I am your friend. Whether you consider me yours friend or not, I don't care. I am going to wish only love and love and love for you. So that is prem bhav ho sab jeevon se. But then there are different types of people who have better attributes, better qualities than me. So commonly speaking, I have a love for everybody, all forms of life. That is my common feeling for everybody. Okay. The second thing is those who are better than me in terms of qualities, in terms of attributes. How do I look up to them? So Guni Jano mein Harsh Vibhu. I feel elated. I rejoice their company, and I would consider myself so grateful and so fortunate if I get to have the companies of those who are far better than what I am. So those who are better than us, we have to not feel envy of them. Rather, we have to celebrate and we have to be grateful that, okay, we have some good examples ahead of us who are leading the path and showing us the way we can uplift and we can grow ourselves also. So, Guni Jano means those who are better than us, we have to have the company of them and we have to celebrate, rejoice that company. Now, there are a few people who would be living a life that is not quite comfortable. They are not such fulfilled human being. They do not have everything that the life should at least bare minimum provide for everybody to lead life with dignity. So there are a few people who are not doing well. So if they are suffering and they are not having enough means to live life pleasantly, then by seeing those fellow beings, my heart fills itself with compassion. So like streams of compassion, Karuna Srot. Karuna, the stream of compassion is Karuna Srot. Bahe dukhiyon par. So those who are suffering, those who have difficult life, who, health wise, those who could not, those who want something and are not able to crack that, such people who are devoid of the basic necessities of life, I have my compassion with them. So I feel very compassionate towards them. And Durjan mein madhyasth ho. And then there is fourth category of people who are not actually good in terms of their behavior with this world. So, what do I do? What should I do with them? So, should I feel hatred towards them? Should I, if I cannot confront them, at least should I be very critical of them? Acharya Dev says no. You have to be neutral. Durjan mein madhyasth. Madhyasth means somebody who is in the middle, who is not with them, who is not against them, who is completely neutral. So it is being said that Durjan mein madhyasth bhibho. So for all beings we have love. For virtuous means Gunijan, we have joy, harsh. We see our eyes, they just glitter seeing those people suffer. Those who are suffering, we have compassion for them, Karuna. And the wicked, those who have chosen the wrong path of himsa, maybe those who are not following the niti, nyaya, the just path, then we have to be neutral with them. So, in no ways we have to be very critical, disparaging. We have to be very, judging for anybody. If somebody does bad to us, even then, our effort would be that we remain neutral with them. So this is such a good opening statement that how I choose to live my life. I am going to first practice love to everybody, but then those who are better than me, I'm going to appreciate them, because appreciating the good qualities is an invitation to those qualities to be imbibed in ourselves. Those who need my help, I'll always be there with compassion in my heart to help them. And those even who are not being good with me, who are not justified, who do not do justice, who are doing wrong, even with those, I am going to be neutral. I'm not going to be, ill speaking about them. I'll not be picking fights with them. And I'll not have any personal rage or any animosity, anything of such thought that, I will not be having such thoughts. So this is how every Atmarthi, every Mumukshu, every spiritual being, these are the four bhavanas that every Mumukshu should practice. So this is Madhyastha Bhavana, this is Karuna Bhavana, then this is Harsh Bhavana, and then this is Maitri Bhavana. So Pramod, Karunya, Madhyasth and Maitri. Maitri, Pramod, Karunya and Madhyasth. Four types of bhavanas are in Sanskrit. Their names would be Maitri. Maitri is towards all beings. Pramod is towards those who are virtuous. Pramod means we are, just by seeing them, our hearts, it just sprouts, it just, elates. So that's how you feel when you meet your old friend after such a long time. Just seeing them, It just makes you so much happy. So that type of emotion should be towards those who are doing good, who are good. So guni jano mein harsh vibho. And those who are suffering, who those life has not been filled with them, we have karunya bhavna, we have karuna for them, compassion for them. And those who are not doing, following the right path, towards them, we have madhyastha bhavna, neutrality. So madhyasthata. So four types of bhavanas every atmarthi practices are these. If somebody asks you, this is the first of the 32 stanzas. Second, यह अनंत बलशील आत्मा हो शरीर से भिन्न प्रभो जो होती तलवार म्यान से वह अनंत बल दो मुझको. So see, I have realized that the soul is different and this body is different. So when they are different, why are they sharing the same space? I want, oh my Bhagwan, I eagerly want that this soul, which is Ananta Balishil, which is filled with great power, infinite strength and virtue, this soul, this which I am, this should be separated from this body. Means it is the aspiration to become Siddha, bodiless. हो शरीर से भिन्न प्रभु. It should be separated from the body, just like the sword is separated from the sheath. So we have myan of a sword. So the sword in which it is kept, that is sheath. If I just like, if I take out that sword, similarly, can I take myself out of this body? I can, but it will require great strength because the sword is quite heavy. So, oh Lord, grant me that infinite strength to realize the true nature of soul. So, vah ananta bal do mujhko. So, Acharya Dev has set this very clear intention that I am here, knowing that I am separate from this body, and to be separated eternally from this body is my ultimate goal, is my only desire. सुख दुख बैरी बंधु वर्ग में कांच कनक में समता हो वन उपवन प्रासाद कुटी में नहीं खेद नहीं ममता हो. So what should I do? What do I have to do? I have to be very clear that whether it is the good times or the bad times, whether the enemy is facing me eye into eye, we are facing each other, or whether I'm standing with my friend, whether I am having diamond in my hand or do I just have plain glass in my hands, whether am I living in a palace or am I abandoned in a jungle. So whatever it is, I am committed, oh my dear Bhagwan, that I will practice samata. I will not go with mamata. Mamata is attachment. Samata is equanimity. So I will practice equanimity. I will not distinguish between the good times and the bad times. I will not distinguish between a palace and a very small home. I will not distinguish between all jewelry or all thorns that I am adorned with. So I am going to be very equanimous with each and every reward of life. So happiness and sorrow, enemy and friend groups, glass and gold, all are seen with equanimity. In a forest or garden, palace or hut, there is neither regret nor attachment that I must practice. So this is what Acharya Dev is telling that, okay, if I want to walk onto this path, the external conditions are not going to shape how my feelings are going to be. Simple? I hope this is not a problem. Simple, it's very easy, right? So this is very important. This is samata bhav, and the real dharma is samatva. You can take note of this. Samatva. Samatva, this is called as the real dharma. What is dharma? So we all want to be happy. But the question arises, what makes you sad? What makes you unhappy? And when you go to the root of this problem, What makes us unhappy is not our external reality. It's not what we get from the life. What makes us unhappy is internal expectations. So samatva is to neutralize those expectations and to make a contract with life that, okay, life, dear life, you are anyways have been too kind on me. So whatever you will bring, I will accept it with both my hands, with no complaints made. Such a simple agreement. So if today you want to defame me, today you want to bring poverty to me, today you want to bring depravity to me, fine, challenge accepted. Your all effort is to make me uncomfortable, and my entire promise is to not be uncomfortable. So the one who could not be made uncomfortable would always be on the upright path and will always be living a very contented life. So happiness, friend, and gold, they are not heavier to have. Sorrow, enemy, and glass, they are not something that I should not have. They both are same for me. I see them with equality, with equanimity. Yes, this is what has been talked in the third one. What did we talk in the second one? We said that our ultimate aim is to make this sword come out of its outer layer. I do not want to be contained because the sword loses all its shine, all its sharpness, all its power the moment it goes inside that sheath. So if this sword has to be almighty and all potent of what it could do, then it has to come out, it has to break free from that outer layer, outer cage. Such is this body which is restricting my own powers to function to their fullest. Yes, simple. जिस सुंदरतम पथ पर चल कर जीते मोह मान मन मत, वह सुंदर पथ ही प्रभु मेरा बना रहे अनुशीलन पथ. Oh Bhagwan, the path which you have taken is the most beautiful path. What for me, the definition of beauty is whatever you did. Whatever path you chose, that path becomes the most beautiful path. So it's not that you chose the beautiful path to walk on. You walk on whichever path became the beautiful path. So जिस सुंदरतम पथ पर चलकर, what did you do? जीते मोह मान मन मत. The great enemies of delusion, pride and desires. You just destroyed them and you conquered them. So, oh Bhagwan, by walking onto that specific path which made you defeat delusion, pride, and desire. Moh is mithyatva or delusion, man is the pride, and manmat is all our desires, what is done by the man, by the mind. So, whatever moh, man, manmat you've destroyed, that beautiful path, where sundar path hi prabhu mera, bana rahe anushilan path. Oh Lord, let that beautiful path become my path of practice. So now I have a very highlighted path where I have to go. Jis panth chale bhagwant vahi acharye. For me, only that path is walkable where my Bhagwans have walked on. एकेंद्रिय आदिक प्राणी की यदि मैंने हिंसा की हो, शुद्ध हृदय से कहता हूँ वह निष्फल हो दुष्कृत्य प्रभु. Now, Alochana, and you're realizing your own mistake. So you are now saying sorry in front of Bhagwan. Oh Bhagwan, if I have through my actions or thoughts or words harmed single sensed or other living beings from ekindriya till panchendriya jiva, ekindriya adi prani ki, means all the jivas right from the ekindriya one sensed organisms. Yadi maine hinsa ki ho, if I have hurt them, I have done their violence, then with pure heart I take the accountability of all that bad deed, bad doings which I did. Shuddha hriday se kehta hu, with sincerity. I pray with pure heart. O Lord, nishfal ho. Dushkritya Prabhu. I did it out of mistake, out of ignorance. I did not know what it meant. And therefore, with folded hands and with all purity in my heart, I'm saying, let that sinful act be rendered fruitless. Means I should not be bearing the consequence of that sin that I did by mistake. So it is the alochna that, okay, I'm really sorry, Bhagwan. It will not be repeated. So when we say Nishfalo Dushkriti Vibho, it is not an excuse that we are asking for from being served a punishment. Rather, it is actually this commitment that I'm giving that I'm not going to do this type of sinful activity again. So this is what the actual commitment is. मोक्ष मार्ग प्रतिकूल प्रवर्तन जो कुछ किया कषायों से विपथ गमन सब कालुष मेरे मिट जाए सद्भावों से. Now, it is such a beautiful portrayal of I am not only acknowledging my mistake, the wrong deeds which I did, but I am also not just saying sorry. I'm just also saying that, okay, how I'm going to correct myself, let me tell you. So what is being said is, Moksha Marga Pratikul Pravartan. So where I always walked on the opposite direction from the Moksha Marga. So Pratikul is the opposite. So all actions that oppose the path to liberation were driven by passions. So Pravartan, Jo Kuch Kiya, whatever I did under the influence of Kashayon say. I was doing all that because I was not in my senses. My wisdom was not prevailing. I was under the influence of Moh Rag Dvesh Kashay. So Moksh Marg, Pratikul Pravartan, Jo Kuch Kiya Kashayon se. Without Kashay, you cannot do any wrong. So you did all that under the influence of the great wine of Kashay. Vipat Gaman. Vipat Gaman means Vipat is the wrong path. Gaman means to walk. So I walked on the wrong path, in the wrong direction. Sab kalush mere means my all bad deeds, deeds which I could not even name. Mit jaye, may they all render zero, they all be corrected. How? Sadbhavo se, by the purity of my thoughts. So I am committing, oh Bhagwan, all that wrong I did, all that wrong which I committed, that I know was wrong to be done at the first place. But don't worry, with my pure intentions and right noble dispositions, I will correct everything now. So all actions that oppose the path to liberation were driven by passions. May the impurity of all such misguided wanderings be erased through noble dispositions. So in a way, it is being committed. It is being said and it is being promised that, okay, whatever happened, happened. The Prat Bhav's wisdom and the Pradvansa Bhav's wisdom would prevail and I will have a fresh start right now. I'll just start working in the best possible way. चतुर्वैद्य विषवेक्षत करता त्यों प्रभु मैं भी आदि उपांत अपनी निंदा आलोचन से करता हूँ पापों को शांत. Just Chaturvedya is the intelligent, wise doctor. So Vedya is doctor in Indian terms, the old Indian terms. We have Vedya. So just as a skilled physician or Chaturvedya, Vikshat Karta, Tyo Prabhu मैं भी आदि उपान Chaturvedya. There is one word which is missing, I would say. It is called Vishavikshat. So in old, in Ayurveda, it is said that for certain diseases, to get rid of those diseases, you will have to take poison in a very calculated quality. And in a very calculated quality, the poison is offered. And that poison, instead of creating harm, it benefits the body by taking away that pain. But not everybody can be advised to take that poison. It requires the wisdom of a very good Vaidya, a very good doctor, who would take that poison and with his will, with his intellect, with his wisdom, he will use even the poison to fulfill the life. So that poison, instead of attacking the life, will actually support the life. This is such a great thing to do. Similarly, just as a wise, skilled physician, विक्षत करता विष क्यों प्रभु मैं भी आदि उपान, just like that smart physician would get rid of the disease even by having the poison. Yes, everyone. In the same way, I am also trying to be wise over here. So I am going to take in the poison of my own criticism. So I am just criticizing myself in front of you. That, okay, I'm not good, I have been doing this. So apni ninda means I'm criticizing myself. Alochan, I'm actually introspecting and critically examining myself. So this is also taking poison in. But this is a very calculated and wise decision that I am correcting my great disease of samsara. So just as a skilled physician examines and treats, oh Lord, I also, through self-criticism and introspection, apni ninda alochan se, karta hu papon ko shan, will subdue my sins. Such a beautiful way of putting that how my own criticism is going to make myself purer than what it is. Therefore, we should instead, and if you can recall the karmas, there is gotra karma. The reason for the influx of gotra karma is very simple. The reason is, if you indulge in self-praise and you critically evaluate others, you invite the lower gotra karma, neech gotra karma. And when you criticize yourself and you appreciate others, you invite Ucha Gotra. You become respectable. So by self-praise, you actually do self-harm. And by being very critical about your own self, and when you don't count yourself anything, when you are just down with all humility, and with all respect for others, Guni Jano mein Harsh Vibho, that Pramod Bhavana, if you have, you automatically elevate your stature. You become a bigger being. So a person who is all, whose chest is swollen because of pride, that person is bound to be defeated by somebody's criticism, somebody's disrespect. But the person who is always ready and who takes criticism very, very kindly, very firmly, that person will be free from all sorts of sins. Next. सत्य अहिंसादिक व्रत में भी मैंने हृदय मलिन किया. What did I do? Satya ahimsadik vrat mein bhi. So there were 5 anuvratas and mahavratas. Ahimsa, mahavrat or anuvrat. Satya, mahavrat or anuvrat. Achaurya, mahavrat and anuvrat. Brahmacharya, mahavrat and swadhar, santoshvrat. And then parigraha tyag, mahavrat and parigraha pariman anuvrat. All these were vratas. So all these satya ahimsadik vrat mein bhi मैंने हृदय मलिन किया. व्रत विपरीत प्रवर्तन करके शीलाचरण विलीन किया. What did I do? Instead of walking on the right path, even in the vows of truth and non-violence, I have stained my heart. By acting contrary to these vows, I have destroyed the virtuous conduct. So Acharya Dev is, self-pitying. He's saying that, okay, whatever I took as a vow, I could not execute it with the same intended purity of heart. So this is how the self-criticism and introspection is acting like a medicine. कभी वासना की सरिता का गहन सलिल मुझ पर छाया, पी पी कर विषयों की मदिरा मुझ में पागलपन आया. Sometimes the karmas, they had their specific phase of udhirina. They came as if the flood of karmas has come. And that led to a very great deviation in my own conduct. Kabhi vasana ki sarita ka. Sarita is river of desires, vasana, intense desires, passionate desires. And Gehan Salil is huge sum of water. Salil is water. So, this river, which was, usually very calmly flowing, it suddenly got flooded. And that its entire water of this passionate desires river, it, it almost submerged me. It immersed me. And then what did I do? Then what did I do? पी पी कर विषयों की मदिरा मुझ में पागलपन आया. So I started drinking a lot of wine of the sensual pleasures, and that had made me go out of my senses. So मुझ में पागलपन आया. The madness took over in me. Sometimes the deep waters of the river of desires have overshadowed me. And then what did I do in those instances? By drinking the wine of sensual pleasures, madness has taken over me. Sometimes it happens with all of us. There are seasons. There are sometimes we have, such great haste of eating something, of going out somewhere, of saying something. Okay, enough. It is done. I want to try that. I'm going there. So you try it for 10 days, not having any, let's say you like chocolate maybe, and you want to control, you know that I should not be eating it. So you control for 10 days. But then after 10 days, it's time to reward yourself. You did tapasya for 10 days, right? So then it as if a dam has opened its own gates. You now want to have like enough. You can't get enough of it then. Ice cream, I've not had it since so many days. I'm going to have like 2 buckets of it today. So you have that विषयों का पी पी कर पागलपन, the madness takes over. So we call it udina. So Uday is the normal fruition of karmas. Udina is when, karmas come to fruition in great quantities. So it's like the flood of karma that comes. And in those times, we have the urge which should be satiated at that time. So whenever you feel like you are having not very stable thoughts, you get the clue that the vasana ki sarita ka salil jahan, deep waters of river of desires have overshadowed you. Yes. मैंने छली और मायावी हो असत्य आचरण किया पर निंदा काली चुगली जो मुंह पर आया वमन किया. What wrong did I do? I was chali, means I was a cheat. Deceitfully I was acting. Mayavi, filled with all types of, I have been double mouthed. I have been very deceiving, very, not very dishonest. So I have acted deceitfully and with guile. वो असत्य आचरण किया. So I did the false conduct. Paraninda. So I slandered, I abused Kali, I gossiped Chugli, and I literally uttered whatever came to my lips. I had no control over my own words. So, sometimes we overspeak and later we regret that, oh, what did I say? It could have been avoided. So, I have acted deceitfully with, I think, how do we read it? Kyle only? I'm not sure. Engaging in false conduct, I have vomited slander. Paraninda is slandering, gali, abusing, chugli, gossiping, complaining. Jo muh par aaya, vaman. Vaman is vomiting. So I literally vomited whatever came on my lips. I did not even think of the consequences of how the other person would have felt about it. I just spoke my mind out and I was very cool about it, which is not. See, I cannot take back once the words are spoken. No, you cannot take them back. And the scars of words are far deeper than any scars of any blade. Your all physical scars will heal over time. But if you have said something very critical, something very petty to somebody, it remains. No matter how forgiving that person is, it hurts. Those words, they somehow imprint themselves forever. So we should never, moh par aya vaman kya, we should never vomit. And our wires of tongue should always be connected with our brain. So before anything that comes to tongue should first go to the clearance for the towards the brain. That okay, should I speak it? Should I not? We should not directly give the authority of our tongue to speak whatever it wishes to. Nirabhiman ujjwal manas ho. So now enough that I have been having krodh, man, maya, lobh. I was doing all the misconduct, wrongful conducts. Now I'm saying that what is it that I really want? Nirabhiman ujjwal manas ho. Sada satya ka dhyan rahe. I should be nirabhimani. I should not have any sort of pride, any sort of man, abhiman. And therefore, ujjwal manaso, my mind, my heart should always be very clean. Ujjwal manasaho, sada satya ka dhyan rahe. And I should always be mindful about the truth, what the right thing is, what the real fact is. निर्मल जल की सरिता सदृश हिय में निर्मल ज्ञान बहे. Nirmal jal ki. Nirmal is pure water. Sarita is again river. Sadr. Just like a pure, taintless river flows. Similarly, in my heart, the pure river of Nirmal Gyan should flow in my heart. Be modest and have a radiant mind, always contemplating the truth, like the pure water of a river. Let pure knowledge flow in my heart. This is what I want, Bhagwan, and therefore this is what I'm expressing in front of you. So, like how beautiful these lines are. We are aspiring. We're just, these are the self affirmations for ourselves. Nirabhiman ujjwal manas ho. Manas is my mind. It should be modest. It should be very firm. Nirabhiman ujjwal manas ho. Sada satya ka ध्यान रहे. निर्मल जल की सरिता सदृश हिय में निर्मल ज्ञान बहे. Such pure reflections that we are having in our heart while reading these beautiful pieces of poetry. Muni chakri shakri ke hiya mein. Three people. Muni is Muni Raj. Chakri is Chakravarti, means the king of humans. Shakri is Indra, Saudharmendra, the king of all the devas. Muni, Chakri, Shakri. So, all these three leaders, the Muni Raj, the Chakravarti, and the Devendra, all these three, they are Samyag Drishti Jivas. They're all Gyanis. They all have realized their selves. So, Muni Chakri Shakri ke hiya mein, in their heart, Jis Anant ka dhyan rahe. So, all these three, even the Muniraj, not only the Muniraj, the Chakravartis, the Devendras, the Saudharmendras, the Shakrendras, they all know what the real infinite blissful soul is. गाते वेद पुराण जिसे वह परम देव मम हृदय रहे. So that very Param Dev, which is always dwelling in the hearts of Muniraj, Chakravartis, and Indras, and all the Vedas and the Puranas are singing in praise of whom? That Param Dev should always reside in my heart. O Lord, the one upon whom the Muni, the Chakri, and the Shakri constantly meditate in their hearts. The one whose praises are sung in the Vedas and Puranas. May that Supreme Dev dwell in my heart. So that Param Dev is who? The first Param Dev is our own soul. The other Paramdev is the one who have realized their soul. Okay? दर्शन ज्ञान स्वभावी जिसने सब विकार ही वमन किए परम ध्यान गोचर परमात्म परम देव मम हृदय बसे. So now the Dev Stuti is now started. After criticizing our own self and setting foot very clearly that we are looking for the purity of heart, the modesty of our conduct. Now I am now considering that, oh, the great Paramdev, oh Bhagwan, may you dwell in my heart. May you remain in my heart. So now we are thinking about the nature of the Paramdev, the great Bhagwan, the Supreme Bhagwan. So who is Supreme Bhagwan? दर्शन ज्ञान स्वभावी जिसने सब विकार ही वमन किए. So darshan gyan swabhavi means sarvagya. He has anant darshan and anant gyan. So he is sarvagya. And sab vikar hi vaman kiye means he does not even have any impurity, means he is vitragi. So Bhagwan is somebody who is vitragi and sarvagya. So darshan ज्ञान स्वभावी जिसने सब विकार ही वमन किए परम ध्यान गोचर परमात्म परम देव मम हृदय रहे. So that Bhagwan was Vitragi and Sarvagya, and who could only be approached through dhyan, through meditation. That Paramatma should always reside in my hriday, in my heart. The one who is inherently of the nature of perception and knowledge, darshan and jnana, has expelled all vikaras, all the ragdvesh, impurities and mortifications. That supreme enlightened soul, Paramatman, experienced through profound meditations. May that supreme soul dwell in my heart as well. May my heart be abode of that supreme soul as well. जो भव दुख का विध्वंसक है, जो भव दुख का विध्वंसक है, विश्व विलोकी जिसका ज्ञान योगी जन के ध्यान गम्य वह बसे हृदय में देव महान. See, now this is the third consequent stanza in which the same prayer is being repeated. Param devam hriday base, param devam hriday rahe, base hriday mein dev mahan. I want my heart to be the resting ground of that Param Dev. Who is he? जो भव दुख का विध्वंसक है, the very suffering that I am frustrated with, I am tired of, he has destroyed that suffering. So जो भव दुख means संसार दुख का विध्वंसक है, is the destroyer of संसार दुख. विश्व विलोकी जिसका ज्ञान, and whose ज्ञान can see the entire cosmos. विश्व विलोकी, who could see the entire lok, Vishwa, with his jnana. And yogi jan ke dhyan game. All the yogis of this world have been tirelessly meditating whom that Deva should always be residing in my heart. He who is the destroyer of the sorrows of transmigration, whose knowledge encompasses the universe, he who is the object of the meditation for yogis, may that great deity reside in my heart. Simple. मुक्ति मार्ग का दिग्दर्शक है, जन्म मरण से परम अतीत, निष्कलंक त्रैलोक्यदर्शी वह देव रहे मम हृदय समीप. What else does he do? मुक्ति मार्ग का दिग्दर्शक है. He is the illuminator, he is the guide to the path of liberation. Janma maran se param atit, and he is beyond the birth and death. He does not have his birth, he can never pass away, he can never die. So he has surpassed these notions of birth and death. Nishkalank, he does not have any spot, any taint on himself, on his character. Nishkalank. Trailokyadarshi, he is the seer of all the three worlds. Dev rahe mama hriday sameet. That deity must reside close to my heart. Same thing. Dev Stuti in sequence is happening. What more about that Bhagwan? निखिल विश्व के वशीकरण वे, राग रहे ना द्वेष रहे, शुद्ध अतीन्द्रिय ज्ञान स्वरूपी, परम देव मम हृदय रहे। निखिल विश्व के वशीकरण वे, राग रहे ना द्वेष रहे। How is that Paramdev is? He has as if controlled the entire cosmos, and therefore he does not have any attachment and aversion towards this entire world. The same world which has hypnotized us all. That Paramdev is free from all the attachments and aversions of this very world. He who has control over entire universe with no attachment or aversion, that pure embodiment of transcendental knowledge, Atindriya Gyan Swarupi, Param Dev Mam Hriday Rahe. May that supreme deity reside in my heart. Okay, this is how the half of the Bhāvanā Battīsī got completed. 16th stanza we have just arrived at. 17th one. Again, the Dev. देख रहा जो निखिल विश्व को, कर्म कलंक विहीन विचित्र, स्वच्छ विनिर्मल निर्विकार वह, देव करे मम हृदय पवित्र. What is happening? That Dev, what is that Dev doing? He is seeing the entire world. देख रहा जो निखिल विश्व को. How? Karma, kalanka, vihina, vichitra, who remaining untainted, untouched by this world, who is living in this world and is untouched by this world, he who sees the entire universe free from the karmic impurities and wonderfully unique, pure, spotless, and unchanging. Such swaksha vinirmal nirvikarva, that pure, taintless, nirvikari Dev, Dev kare mam hriday par. May that deity purify my heart. कर्म कलंक अछूत न जिसका, कभी छू सके दिव्य प्रकाश, मोह तिमिर को भेद चला जो, परम शरण मुझको वह आप. See, this is just pure poetry. We're just inviting Bhagwan to have permanent address in our hearts. So continuously it is being on the repeat mode being said. परम शरण मुझको वह आप, देव करे मम हृदय पवित्र, परम देव मम हृदय बसे. So we are repeating the same thing. Karma kalank achut na jiska. The karma is untouchable to whom? The karma could. He whose divine light is never touched by the stains of karma. Kabhi chhu sake divya prakash. Who dispels the darkness of delusion. Moh timir ko bhed chala jo. Param sharan mujhko vah aap. May that supreme refuge be mine. May that person be my refuge. Simple. So the same practice that Bhagwan is filled with all knowledge. He is Vitaragi, Nirvikari. He is free from all the karma. He is the seer of the entire world. He is the one whom all the yogis are meditating. He is the one for whom all the Vedas and Puranas are singing all the praises. So that Param Dev, if at all he should have any address, that should be my heart. It is where he should reside. जिनकी दिव्य जिसकी दिव्य ज्योति के आगे, फीका पड़ता सूर्य प्रकाश, स्वयं ज्ञानमय स्वपर प्रकाशी, परम शरण मुझको वह आप. Whose divine light makes the light of the sun pale in comparison. Means in front of whom even the sun is a bit fika. It is not as full of light as the Param Guru is. So whose divine light makes the light of the sun pale in comparison? So that is Keval Gyan Jyoti. Yeah. And self-illuminating and illuminating others. May that supreme refuge be mine. He is the one that I must take the shelter of. जिसके ज्ञान रूप दर्पण में स्पष्ट झलकते सभी पदार्थ, आदि अंत से रहित शांत शिव परम शरण मुझको वह आप। जिसके इन द मिरर ऑफ हुज ज्ञान, ज्ञान रूप दर्पण, दर्पण इज मिरर, इन हुज नॉलेज लाइक मिरर स्पष्ट झलकते सभी पदार्थ, ऑल substances reflect very clearly, it's such a clear mirror. आदि अंत से रहित शांत शिव, the one who does not have any beginning, who is without beginning and without end, and who is serene, who is shant and auspicious. Shiva, may that supreme refuge, that realized one, be my ultimate shelter. Param sharan mujhko vah aap. Now, 21st is a beautiful one. जैसे अग्नि जलाती तरु को, तैसे नष्ट हुए स्वयमेव. Just as the fire burns the tree, in the same way, नष्ट हुए स्वयमेव. What? भय विषाद चिंता सब जिसके, परम शरण मुझको वह देव. I am tired of my fears, my despair, my anxieties. But whose fears, despair, and anxiety have been burnt just like fire burns a tree, whose fear, despair, and anxieties are naturally destroyed. That Param Dev is my refuge, is my Sharan. May that Deva, in whom such afflictions perish on their own, be my supreme refuge. Param Sharan mujhko vah dev. 22nd. Trinichok. So now, this here we have concluded about. Abhi, later on, we'll again pick up the Devastuti. But here this particular segment of praising the Bhagwan and asking him to take refuge in our heart, this concludes here. And now, how do we do samadhi? How do we do sadhana? That is being critically evaluated. This is very important one. So let's take a good 2 minutes break. We are anyways at the 21st stanza right now. So we'll meet after 2 minutes break quickly. ठीक है, चलिए. Yes. So now we generally say that if I want to meditate, there should be a secluded place. My clothes should be clean. Um, I should have taken bath. I should have cleaned myself properly. There should be nobody around. So all these things, this is how my asana should be. So now it is being questioned by Acharya Amit Gatidev in the 22nd stanza. तृण चौकी शिल शैल शिखर नहीं आत्म समाधि के आसन समस्तर पूजा संग सम्मिलन नहीं समाधि के साधन. A mat of grass, the dry grass, or the peak of a rocky mountain, the shikhar, the peak, is not the seat for the self-meditation. Where should we meditate? How should we meditate? All rituals and congregational meetings, samstar, puja, sangha sammilan, the congregation, meeting of all the sadhus, nahi samadhi ke sadhan. They are not the means of self-absorption. Your self-absorption is a very, very, very private affair. It is to be done in the presence of all your intellect, all your might. And you cannot just outsource it. You cannot just outsource this saying that, okay, if I'll have a mountain, if I'll have a secluded place, if I'll have that guru, if I'll have that type of sangha, then I will do meditation very well. It does not work like that. So because it is an activity which is very which is solely dependent on how we take care of ourselves. We cannot use all the excuses like I did not have good asana, therefore I could not meditate. There was too much noise in my house. I could not meditate. This is just an excuse because you do not have the very core self on which the meditation would happen. इष्ट वियोग अनिष्ट योग में विश्व मनाता है मातम. हे सभी है विश्व वासना उपादेय निर्मल आत्म. What this world does, whenever something dear to us departs or something that we do not like, it gets along. At that time, the entire Vishwa, we become very sad. We start mourning. In separation from the desired and in union with the undesired, the world mounts. Vishwa manata hai matam. Matam is the pain. Then what should we do? हे सभी है विश्व वासना. So all these imaginary sadness, mournings, all desires of the world are to be abandoned. Upadeya nirmal atam, because the pure soul alone is worthy of attainment. Therefore, paying heed to the different happenings of this world and to reacting to those is not justified, is not wise. बाह्य जगत कुछ भी नहीं मेरा और न बाह्य जगत का मैं. बाह्य जगत कुछ भी नहीं मेरा. The external world is not mine. और न बाह्य जगत का मैं. Neither do I belong to the external world. We both have no relationship whatsoever. I do not carry any relationship with the external world. यह निश्चय कर छोड़ बाह्य को मुक्ति हेतु नित्य स्वस्थ रमे. So you have this very firm belief, having firmly realized this nishchay, let me renounce the external world and abide daily, peacefully, established in the cause of liberation, which is mukti. Yes, everyone. Simple. So we are realizing, we are just seeing the world and remembering everything, that how everything is independent, everything is different, everything is sovereign, and I do not have to have attachments or aversions towards this world, and therefore I can very clearly mukti hetu nitya swasthara mein look up to myself, look into myself for the cause of liberation, for my moksha. अपनी निधि तो अपने में है, अपनी निधि तो अपने में है, बाह्य वस्तु में व्यर्थ प्रयास. This is one of the most celebrated stanza of this Battīsī. Such beautifully it is being said. अपनी निधि तो अपने में है. All that I'm seeking is in me. बाह्य वस्तु में व्यर्थ प्रयास. To look for that one ring which you lost inside your room. If you're looking and searching out of your house for that ring, when will you find it? Have you heard that story or not? There was one dadi. Okay, so she was doing sui dhaga, and suddenly the needle, the sui, it fell. It fell inside his room, but there was no light. Light was not there. So then, from her window came a ray of light. So she realized, oh, light is outside. So she went out of his house. Under that street light, she started searching for the needle. You know why? Because there was light. So she started searching for the needle under the street light. When will she find it? Where will you get it? Where will you get the needle? Where the light is or where the needle is? Where should you search? You should not be looking out because this is all vibrant and clear. So I should search in this world. I can search in that supermarket for my happiness. I can go to that showroom, that theater. There I may find happiness. I would pursue that adventure sport. I will find my happiness. No, 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 no. Where did you lose it? You lost it here. You lost that happiness here. You'll have to search within to find it. Just because the outer world is so apparently open to us, just because it is so convenient to seek it outside, does not mean you will find it outside because it is not lost outside. अपनी निधि तो अपने में है, बाह्य वस्तु में व्यर्थ प्रयास. जग का सुख तो मृग तृष्णा है, झूठे हैं उसके पुरुषार्थ. It looks so glittery. It looks so attractive. Like, okay, once I'm sorted with this, once I repay this credit facility, once my son graduates, once I come out of the hospital, once let this marriage be completed, let this program be over. Once, then I'll be free. But then that happened. What's next? You have next target. So this is called mirage. जग का सुख तो मृग तृष्णा है, झूठे हैं उसके पुरुषार्थ. It's a lie that you're telling to yourself that one day it will all be making sense. One day you will be reaping the fruits of all your toil, all your efforts. It's false. Our treasure is within ourselves. Striving for external things is futile. The happiness of the world is like a mirage. Its pursuits are false. 26th. अक्षय है, शाश्वत है आत्मा, निर्मल ज्ञान स्वभावी है, जो कुछ बाहर है सब पर है, कर्माधीन विनाशी है. It's how should we look at this chapter? It's actually it's nothing but it's a chewing of rest of the chapters which we have studied so far in our course. Whatever we learned, we are now singing uh, all that wisdom. It's more of celebration of having read so much. So while we are thinking about ourselves, so Acharya Dev beautifully is putting into poetry. He's saying, अक्षय है, शाश्वत है आत्मा, निर्मल ज्ञान स्वभावी है. मैं कैसा हूं? How am I? How do I look? I'm eternal, Akshay. I'm indestructible. I'm Shashwat, imperishable. and I am nirmal, I'm pure, and I'm filled with consciousness, I'm knowledgeable, I am jnana swabhavi. निर्मल ज्ञान स्वभावी है, जो कुछ बाहर, all that is outside of me, सब पर है, कर्माधीन विनाशी है. How am I related to all of this madness? Because of my past actions. So it is the fruit of my karmas, and because these karmas are, they are visitors. So they have come, they will go. So if these things are the result of karma, and if karmas are transient, then my relationship with these things is also transient. So karmadhina vinashi hai. So at one place I am eternal, imperishable, and filled with all my wisdom and gyan, darshan, charitra, untainted, such beautiful being. On the other hand, I have this very delicate, perishable, transient world. The only relationship between me and this world is my karma. And even those karmas are perishable. Then how can this relationship can go for long? It is bound to be ending. Whatever is external is transient and perishable, subject to the consequences of karmas. Yes, so therefore I should not be attached. अपनी निधि तो अपने में है. Why should I make all my efforts futile by working outside of myself? तन से जिसका ऐक्य नहीं है, सुततीय मित्रों से कैसे. तन से जिसका ऐक्य नहीं हो, सुततीय मित्रों से कैसे. चर्म दूर होने पर तन से रोम समूह रहे कैसे. So see, you have hair on your skin, okay? You have hair on your skin, ठीक है? So if I remove the hair gets removed. But if I remove the skin, the hair remain? They don't. If you remove the very foundation on which those hairs are planted, if you remove the skin itself, you lose the hair too. Hair don't remain. Similarly, when I am not one with this body, then my offsprings, my children, my spouse, my parents, they are like the hair over the skin. They are because of this body. When this body is not mine, how can these people be mine? When the skin is not mine, what claim do I have for these small hairs? I do not have the ownership of these. So, तन से जिसका ऐक्य नहीं है. How can one who is not united with the body be united with son, wife, and friends? When the skin is separated from the body, how can the hair remain behind? They will also be separated. You have separated yourself from the body itself. Then your relationship with everybody else, it also goes for a toss. So therefore, to think that somebody is mine is actually a delusion. महाकष्ट पाता जो करता, पर पदार्थ जड़ देह संयोग. मोक्ष महल का पथ है सीधा, जड़ चेतन का पूर्ण वियोग. Now the path of liberation is explained so beautifully in just 2 lines. Taking from the 27th stanza, when the body is not mine, how can things outside the body can be mine? They cannot be. Simple. So now Acharya Dev is telling all of us, महाकष्ट पाता जो करता, महाकष्ट पाता जो करता, पर पदार्थ जड़ देह संयोग. You took along with yourself your child to mall. You had to purchase one book. You entered the section where books were kept, and there also were many toys and comics and books for children and all sorts of stationery. and your child, he went mad. I want this, I want that, this also I want. And he started crying. You tell me, what is the reason of his pain, his kasht, his suffering? What is the reason? What made him suffer? Before coming to this shop, did he know that he needed that toy? He needed that book? He needed that color? He did not. Then why is he suffering now? महाकष्ट पाता जो करता. Everybody who will repeat what this child has done will be suffering. He is suffering looking at the toys. I will suffer looking at the watches, at the jewelry, at some discounts in some different mall, some latest phone, latest car. I will suffer the moment I will establish a connection between myself and that piece of jewelry, that piece of electric item, that piece of car. So great suffering is endured by one who remains entangled in association with other substances. Whoever would want to establish his relationship with the non-self, they are bound to suffer, suffer, and suffer. Not small suffering, mahakashta, great suffering. महाकष्ट पाता जो करता पर पदार्थ जड़ देह संयोग. Whoever will associate himself with these external objects, they will endure great suffering. And on the other hand, मोक्ष महल का पथ है सीधा. What is moksha? Moksha is happiness. So this was the path to suffering. Then what is the path to joy? It is very simple. Moksh mahal ka path hai seedha. It's very simple, direct. Jad chetan ka purna vyog. Don't expect anything. Don't want anything. Don't belong to others. And you will be okay. It lies in complete disassociation of the jada, which is Pudgal, from the Chetan, which is me. So I should completely disassociate myself from the outer world, and that's how I can be happy. Simple. So Moksha Marg is now centrally told to us that it is our attraction towards the outer world which generates suffering. जो संसार पतन के कारण उन विकल्प जालों को छोड़ निर्विकल्प निर्द्वंद्व आत्मा फिर लीन उसी में हो. जो संसार पतन के कारण उन विकल्प जालों को छोड़. So what makes us fall into the bottomless well of this samsara? It is the durvikalpa. So abandon those webs of thoughts, vikalp jal, which are the cause of the downfall into samsara. निर्विकल्प निर्द्वंद्व आत्मा फिर लीन उसी में हो. And what should I do? The Atma is free of thought constructions and dualities. May I again and again become absorbed in that Atma alone. This is what I am anticipating that I would be doing. Nirvikalp nirdvandva Atma. फिर लीन उसी में हो. Again and again, take shelter of the self. Swayam ki. So 30th one is also very famous stanza. I think most of you would have remembered it also. These two lines. Swayam kiye jo karm shubha फल निश्चय ही वे देते. करें आप फल देय अन्य तो स्वयं किए निष्फल होते. अपने कर्म सिवाय जीव को कोई न फल देता कुछ भी, पर देता है यह विचार तज, स्थिर हो छोड़ प्रमादी बुद्धि. So see, if father has committed something wrong, the entire family will have to suffer. What do you say? The wrongdoings of parents are to be borne by the members of the family, right? If there is a thief who does stealing as his way of earning his living, earning his bread and butter, he goes robbing others' properties, houses. The path he is doing by doing stealing, the consequence of his path would be shared by his entire family, right? Who eats the same food that he brings by stealing. They'll have to bear the consequence, right? Also. But no, no. This is what Acharya Dev is saying. We become so naive in committing sins that our family, our company, our parents, our offsprings, our society, they all become an excuse for us to keep continuing onto the path of wrong deeds. So Acharya Dev is saying, Swayam kiye jo karma shubha, or whether good or bad, whether auspicious or inauspicious, if you have performed those karmas, they will certainly yield their result. Phal nishchayahi vedete. They will definitely give you the result. They will yield their own fruition. करे आप फल देय अन्य तो स्वयं किए निष्फल होते. If I do it and this karma will not give me the benefit of it, it will pass on, it will give, what I did good, my children will get the result of that. If that is the case, then my own doings have rendered no fruit. No fruit. So one's own actions would become fruitless. The karma one performs, whether auspicious shubh or inauspicious ashubh, certainly yields its own results. If another were to give the result of what one has done, if somebody else will give me the results, the consequences of my actions, if the judge in the courtroom will decide the quantum of my punishment, then what will my actions decide? What will my karma decide? Then one's own actions would become fruitless. Everyone understood? So if you can show me the right path, because I was doing wrong, you chose to serve me with punishment and to correct and to teach me a lesson. So you come and you have punished me. So if I am bearing the fruits of your punishment, then what will I be? What is the fruition of, or what is the result of my own actions? So I'll have to plant this thought in my head that it is not you who is screaming at me. It is my own karmas which are yielding their own results to me. Therefore, I have madhyastha bhavana to you. The first stanza. If you are being rude to me, I will be neutral with you because I know it is not you who is being rude. It is the yielding of my own karmas which is serving me back. It is the ocean which is throwing its own garbage back to the earth because we were the first ones who threw this garbage to the ocean. So it is all coming back. So no hard feelings with the ocean. The garbage was ours. That gali was ours. That insult was ours, which we threw out. It has now received back its true owner. Yes? So therefore, what is the next rule? अपने कर्म सिवाय जीव को कोई न फल देता कुछ भी. So nobody else can punish me for my actions other than my own karmas. So I am only to receive the consequences of my own karmas. Nobody else in this world can punish me if my karmic fruition is not happening. पर देता है यह विचार तज. Abandon this thought that another gives the result. The other person can help me or other person can hit me. It cannot. All that happens to me is the result of my own karmic actions. That's how you will actually be filling your heart with equanimity. You will not have any durvikalpa. You'll become steady. Sthir ho chhod pramadi buddhi. So you'll become steady, letting go of the negligent intellect pramadi buddhi. Understood, everyone? Okay, last one. निर्मल सत्य शिवम सुंदर है, अमित गति वह देव महान, शाश्वत निज में अनुभव करते, पाते निर्मल पद निर्वाण. शाश्वत निज में अनुभव करते, पाते निर्मल पद निर्वाण. Acharya Amit Gati says that the eternal and pure soul is divine, immaculate, inherently truthful, and the embodiment of liberation. Whoever experiences this eternal divinity within themselves attains the pure state of liberation, which is nirvana. So, Shashwat Nij mein anubhav karte, pate nirmal pad nirvan. So, that Dev, that deity is nirmal, satya, shiva, sundar. So, Amit Gati Acharya Dev says that Param Dev, whom I adored, if you can find that Param Dev within you, and you start meditating that Dev within you, which is your own Paramatma, which is your own Shuddhatma, then even you will become that Param Dev. Pate Nirmal Pad Nirvan. So to become Paramatma, you'll have to first establish the true image of Paramatma within you, and then you'll have to start meditating that image, considering that that is you. So I am Paramatma. Whoever experiences this eternal divinity within themselves, शाश्वत निज में अनुभव करते, पाते निर्मल पद निर्वाण. So this is how Acharya Amit Gati Dev has concluded. He started with how our emotional behavior should be, how great we should be, how cautiously we should be behaving well with our fellow beings. Then he went on to say how this world is, how the Paramatma is, and then at the end, he also gave us the reflection of how the karmas function. And in the end, he told us the path to liberation, the path to become Bhagwan is nothing but considering that you yourself have that great power, great unutilized power of becoming Bhagwan itself. Yes? So let's do this quickly. Any two verses that you find interesting with their meaning? Anybody would want to say out of these 32 which one you like the most? Let's have this discussion quickly. Anybody, which one out of these 32 verses you like the most? And why? Anybody? You did not understand any of those 32 verses.
I liked the one about, I can't remember the verse numbers, obviously.
Yeah, it's okay. The
The
about
one,
what?
but about when it said about Shakris and Munis, the ones
Yes.
they meditate on that Paramatma or on that
Yes.
eternal knowledge. May that be also within me. I like that.
Yes. मुनि चक्री शक्री के हिय में जिस अनंत का ध्यान रहे, गाते वेद पुराण जिसे वह Param Dev Mam Hriday Rahe. Such a beautiful way of portraying that Bhagwan should always reside in my heart. Great. Anybody else, whichever any other verse which you liked, poetry wise, meaning wise?
I liked the one about how only your karmas will only affect you. Other people's karmas shouldn't affect you. And what I liked about that, the example that you gave about like throwing the rubbish, you've thrown rubbish into the sea and eventually it comes back to you. Like I really thought that was a really good like analogy of that. So I will remember that
Apne
one.
karma. Beautiful. Apne karma sivaye jeev ko. Sometimes, we as parents also, we as children also, we waste a lot of our time and energy thinking that did I take good decisions for my children? Was I responsible for the kind of life I am giving to my children? Were my financial decisions, my religious decisions, were they good? Did they have any effect on their lives? We'll have to be very clear about this. Everybody has their own fate, and whatever is happening unto them is purely the result of their own karmas. We are not responsible for anybody's fate. But because we are such benevolent beings, we do not want anybody's uh, we do not want to be the reason of anybody's suffering. Therefore, we say prem bhava sab jeevo mein, buddhi jano mein harsh vibho. So I'm already saying that I want to forget about sab jeevo mein. They are my children, they are my parents. How would I ever think ill of them? So parents, whatever they do for their children, they do the best in their capacity at that time. So you do not have to be thinking that whether was a you did whatever you could, the best you could. You could do whatever you could do to your parents, the best. But then everybody, at after a certain point in time, you need to stop this self-bashing. You need to acknowledge that okay, they also have their share of 8 karmas, which are also coming to fruition. It's their own journey as well. They also have deserved the right to be arhantas and siddhas. So if I am going to help them making in this life, who will help them to become arhanta and siddha? So they have to be resilient towards their own actions, the consequences of their own actions. They have to be that resilient. So these two stanzas of this are very important, very phenomenal. That okay, I'm not responsible for other person's suffering. Yeah. Yeah. At best, that I'm responsible for is of my own actions, is on my own behavior. So for that behavior, even to people who are rude, I am being madhyasth. I am being very neutral. This is the best I can do. You run after me with a sword in your hand, and I am still recalling अपने कर्म सिवाय जीव को कोई ना फल देता कुछ भी. I'm saying that okay, this person is not going to kill me. It is my own action which are going to kill me, and I have no complaints to make towards this person. This requires such great gravity. It is not easy to do so. But if you realize it and you can practice that, then Param Dev Mam Hriday Base. Then only the Bhagwan will truly reside in your heart. If you have that type of brave heart. Yeah, so it's a beautiful piece of poetry in those terms that if we connect all the dots, it literally makes us such a beautiful being from the first stanza to the last. Yes, Alpaji, aap bataiye. Yes. Yes. You also want to share your
Yeah.
favorite part? Yeah.
For me, it was our attraction to the outside world is the cause of our suffering, like TV, football, social media, um, any sansaric thing. So anything except the soul, that just covered everything for me.
So good. That's so good. बाह्य जगत कुछ भी नहीं मेरा और न बाह्य जगत का मैं, यह निश्चय कर छोड़ बाह्य को, मुक्ति हेतु नित स्वस्थ रमे. अपनी निधि तो अपने में है, बाह्य वस्तु में व्यर्थ प्रयास. It is futile to to put our efforts in external things. जग का सुख तो मृग तृष्णा है, झूठे हैं उसके पुरुषार्थ. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Yes. Fine, I think enough. Anybody has any questions from Tattvajñāna Pāṭhamālā Part 1? Anything that you could not? We have some good 5-10 minutes.
No, Bhavji, can I just ask a quick question? So, in the UK on Sundays we have Saurabhji's lectures, and he mentioned that we should be trying to do some sort of meditation every day, 30 minutes or whatever we can spare. And I was always wondering, like, when you do meditation, is something like this would be something good to contemplate on, like to think about these points, right?
So the other name for Bhāvanā Battīsī is Samayik Paṭh. What is Samayik Paṭh? When you sit down alone, what do you think? So this is a very beautiful line of inquiry, self-inquiry. So most people, when they sit down for meditation, they read this Bhāvanā Battīsī, this Samayik Paṭh, Meri Bhāvana. So yes, when you're sitting alone trying to think, you can have such stream of uh, thoughts, the points which have been celebrated in these. This is also acceptable. This is actually most celebrated Samayik Paṭh of our times. Beautiful.
Can I
So
also
whenever
ask
we're
a question?
sitting alone for dhyan, our intent is to go thoughtless. But going thoughtless will only come after the stream of right thoughts. So those right thoughts will only come when we are thinking about. So there are 4 stages. We think about the nature of this world. So in this bhavana, we saw about that okay, in this world, tan se jiska ek nahi hai, sutti hai mitron se kaise. So when body is not mine, the external world is not worth seeking anything in. Yeah. So this is Agya Vichay. Then you think about your own failures of past in your attempt to pursue happiness, which is Apai Vichay. So I was thinking that if I do this and achieve that, I'll be happy. But I have achieved it long ago. I have new targets. The thirst of happiness is not pacified. So that is Apai Vichay. So then what do? Then we start contemplating about the karmic fruition. Okay, so whatever is happening, there is nobody else who is responsible for this, and I have complaints with nobody. So you start practicing equanimity, समता, क्षमा. सभी जीवों के प्रति मेरा क्षमा भाव है. मैं किसी के साथ बैर नहीं रखता. So all this is the layer of dharma dhyan. So it is from this, if you do not have any friend or enemy in this world, then you will stop thinking about any people. If you do not have any attractive place outside in this world, you will stop thinking about places. If you do not have any desire to be fulfilled, you will stop wandering in your streamlines, and that's how you declutter. You shut every other thought off, and that's how then you just be. Akshay hai, shashwat hai atma, darshan gyan swabhavi hai, जो कुछ बाहर है सब पर है, कर्माधीन विनाशी है. So now I sit down peacefully with myself. So this how the no thought state is achieved, by systematically shutting down every tap which is open. Yeah. Okay. Yes, Poonamji.
Following on from Kirpaji's question, I'll normally sort of choose one thing, like either Meri Bhavna or Vinay Path or मैं ज्ञानानंद स्वभावी हूँ, and just contemplate on that, either one, for half an hour, 20 minutes. From what you were saying, I'm a little bit confused. Is that not a complete samayik in the way you are explaining that it's going from one thing to another?
So samayik literally means the no thought state. So every day, at least for 2 times or at least once, we should sit down, saying that, okay, no matter what happens for next 15-30 minutes, I'm not going to move from this place. Even the earthquake comes, even the short circuit happens, even the event of fire erupts in this house where I'm sitting, I'm not going to move away from this place. This is the kind of discipline that Samayik demands. So you, that way, abandon everything in your thought image. So you are not anybody's parent at that moment, you're not anybody's spouse, you're not anybody's child. You're nothing. You are just pure consciousness sitting for 15-20 minutes alone. And you have committed those 15-20 minutes to your soul alone. And you say, before sitting into Samayik, even the death arrives in between these times, I'll be unshakable, unmovable. I will choose death rather than, running away from it. So this is what Samayik is. And the effort of Samayik is to go thoughtless. But to go thoughtless, you'll have to cross many streams of thoughts. Those streams, they start from bhavanas like this. So मैं ज्ञानानंद स्वभावी हूँ, मेरी भावना, 12 भावना, स्तुति, वंदना of 24 Tirthankaras, they all are the warm-ups. They're not the Samayik. So we are bringing the clarity through our reflection and understanding of the present world. And once we reach that clarity, then we say, okay, now I shut down all the taps. I am pure eternal soul. And I'm not going to think anything. I am. So just let your gyan just celebrate what you are rather than putting on that forever running mode that what to think, what to think, what to think. I will not think anything. I'll just be. It's very difficult. Out of 20 minutes, it will happen for what? 15 seconds, 30 seconds. Then again, some thought will come. Am I doing it right? Is it what was said? You have to shut those thoughts off. You have to continue. So you increase your capability of reaching to this no mind state. This is how the practice of Samayik should be done. Okay? Okay. Oh, chalo. Let's do the Granth Vachan for today.
I'll be doing the Granth Vachan today. So the chapter 9 is based on Bhāvanā Battīsī is based on a Hindi translation. It's a Hindi translation done by Sri Jugal Kishorji, based on Acharya Amit Gati's Bhāvanā Dvatrimitstika. So the Acharya starts by talking about the 4 bhavanas: Maitri Bhavana towards all the beings, all the living beings; Pramod Bhavana towards the virtuous or the guni people; Karuna Bhavana towards those who are suffering; and Madhyastha Bhavana towards the wicked or the Durjan people. Then he moves on to talk about or establishes the ultimate goal which we all look towards, that is to realize the complete strength of the soul, which will be only realized when it is separated from the body. Just like how the complete strength of a sword can be felt only when it is taken out of the sheath, the complete strength of our soul and the ananta gun of the soul can be experienced only when it is separated from the body. So that is the ultimate goal which is established in the next stanza. Then he moves on to define the samta bhav, where he talks about how we have to remain equanimous without any kind of attachment or regret, in spite of all the dualities, be it sorrow or happiness, be it wealth or poverty, and all the dualities. Then he establishes how he is aspiring to walk on the path which is shown by Bhagavan, who has conquered the moha, man, and all the desires. So all the first 4 verses talks about these things, and the next verses from verse 5 to 11 talks about the alochana. So it talks about how important the self-introspection and self-contemplation is. So he establishes that first we begin by realizing the harm which we have done towards the ekendriya or all the living beings sincerely, so that we don't make the so that the karmas which we have acquired by causing that harm is rendered fruitless. Then he also moves on to say that irrespective of making the harm, he takes a vow that he will not repeat the mistake which he has done. So he talks about how we are going to correct the mistakes. First, he repents for the mistakes, and then he talks about how we are going to repent for the mistakes. And the way he explains that is that all the actions which we have been taking contrary to the path which is shown by Bhagavan can be corrected through the sadbhavanas, which is the noble disposition. So the thoughts have to be aligned. Then he talks about how the a doctor who is skilled uses a right amount of poison to treat a disease, similarly, we have to use self-contemplation, Swaninda and Alochana, contemplation as well as criticism, in order to correct the mistakes which we have done in the past. Then he talks about how we have acted in deceit, how we have done parninda towards the others, how we have slandered, abused others without any control. So that is something which we should be avoiding. Then he establishes that, you know, what is his ultimate goal? He wants to be a calm, composed mind which contemplates the truth, just like how the pure river water flows. The pure gyan or the knowledge should flow in my heart. So that is his you know, aspiration. The next set of verses, you know, from verses 12 to 21, talks about the Dev Stuti. So he establishes the, he's trying to explain the qualities of Bhagwan and what all things which he aspires to also become in these set of verses. And he prays to Bhagwan that let that thought of these attributes dwell in my heart. So he talks about the various qualities, like how Bhagwan has Ananta Darshan Gyan, who's a Vitragi, who's a Hitopadeshi. He has been you know, meditated by Muniraj Chakravartis, Indras, and the yogis who are all who are all you know, Samyagdarśana Drishti Jeeves. And he has the Bhagwan has destroyed the cycle of transmigration, has Ananta Gyan. He is a Hitopadeshi who shows us the path towards liberation. He is the guide for us towards the path of liberation. He has overcome birth and death, and he can see the teen logs, but still he has no attachment or aversion towards any object or anybody in these three logs. So he is a Swapat Prakashak. So he is self-illuminating, illuminating, and he also illuminates others. So these are the characteristics which has been briefly described in the verses till 21. Then the Acharya talks about the Samadhi Maran. So generally we tend to, you know, find faults with all the external factors which are not helping us to concentrate. So Acharya here establishes that the mat of grass or even the peak of the mountain is not the place for self-meditation. Whether you're in a group of gathering or whether you're performing any ritual is not a place for self-meditation, but it is it is something which happens internally. It is a very private occurrence which is to be experienced. Then he talks about how the separation of the Ishta, the desired, and the union of Anishta, undesired, we mourn all those activities. And in all the worldly desires are to be renounced, and pure soul is the pure soul alone is the Upadaya, one which is to be desired. External world itself is not mine, and I don't belong to the external world. So renouncing the external world and relying on the self is the goal for self-realization. All the happiness that we seek are within, and the external things are not going to bring this happiness. The external happiness is like a mirage which can never be fulfilled. Then he says that the soul is Akshaya, eternal, indestructible, pure, and Gyan Swabhavi. All the external things are temporary and perishable, as they are the consequences of my karmas. The just how the karmas are perishable, the consequences are also going to be perishable. So the external things are not going to be temporary, so they are also going to be perishable. So, and then he says, when the body itself is temporary and not mine, then how come the family, friends be mine? Just like how the hair can be separated from the body when the skin is removed, the relationship also, as well as the body, is also something which is separatable. Then the next set of verses from 28 onwards talks about the path of liberation. So he explains what moksha marga is. So the Acharya says the great suffering is experienced when one associates self with par padartha. The moksha marga is, however, very simple and direct. wherein it is to dissociate the Jada and the Chaitanya, where we can differentiate the self from the non-self. Then he says the Durvikalp, or the Vikalp makes us fall into samsara. However, the Atma is free of thoughts and dualities. We should remind ourselves repeatedly, just like how we have said, it is easier to it is so in Samyagdarśana, one of the lectures before you have said, we are so used to being in some sansar that it is so easily ingrained, but we have never experienced the soul. So it is important for us to repeatedly remind ourselves that we are the pure soul, not the body which we are in, right? Then he talks about how the karma definitely yields its results, be it punya or pap. The fruits of karma can, if the fruits of karma can be transferred to the others, then one's action will become fruitless. So then nobody can be accountable for any of their actions. So except for my karma and my actions, no one else's actions can punish me. Abandoning this thought of blame, one becomes steady and lets go of the pramadi buddhi. Then he concludes, Acharya Amit Gadi concludes by saying that pure self is divine, inherently truthful, and embodiment of liberation. Liberation is not somewhere else, it is within us. And when we experience this divinity, that is when we attain nirvana. So basically, Bhāvanā Battīsī, in the conclusion, is a practical guide to the self-realization, contemplation, and helps us to understand the right contact, detachment, and realization of the soul.
Very beautiful, very wonderfully put. It's a long chapter, 32 stanzas, and you tried covering everything. I have one question, not from the chapter, but from the life of the author, Amit Gati Acharya. Can you name one more piece of work which Amit Gati Acharya has done?
He has done
All you must have
Samyagdarśana.
read. Mhm.
He has done the Subhashitas.
Subhashit Ratna
Subhashitas.
Sandosh. Yeah. So
Ratna.
Subhashit Ratna Sandosh, it's a beautiful composition of the moral literature, and it holds its very distinguished place in Sanskrit literature of morality. Also, there is one very interesting scripture which Acharya Amit Gati they've shaped, and that scripture is called Dharma Pariksha. If ever you get chance to read this, so it's story of two friends, and it's very funny, very entertaining. So one friend is Samyak Drishti and other is Mithya Drishti, and that other friend goes to every different philosophical place, and this person will then argue with him that, okay, you believe in that, but then why do you do so? So it's a very satirical piece of work where this one friend then at the end brings its dear friend back to the path of Samyaktva. So every religious philosophy has been very critically examined in a very light fashion. So it's scripture of not only logic but also of Prathamāna Yoga. So it's a good blend of Prathamāna Yoga and logic, Nyaya Shastra, where they both meet. So it's a very small scripture. It's I think about 200-page thick book, but it must be read if you get chance to read it. And this Bhāvanā Battīsī, Bhāvanā Dvatrinshika is there. He also shaped Panch Bhav Sangraha, beautiful scripture. So yeah, great acharyas have served to this great chain of Chinvani as propagated by Tirthankar Mahavir Swami. So very well done. The Bhāvanā Battīsī is one piece. So the poet, the Hindi translation of it was done by the well-celebrated poet of Jain sect, Babu Jugal Kishorji Yugal. He also did the translation of Amulya Tattva Vichar, Bahu Punya Punja Prasanga Se Shubh Manav Kamana. He is also the author of Keval Ravi Kirano Se Jiska Sampurn Prakashit Hai Antar, the well-celebrated Devshas Guru Pujan. He also wrote the Siddha Pujan, Jagaya Tumne Kitni Baar, Hua Nahi, Jinendra Ka Ant, Madhir Sammohan, Mamta Ka, Are Vichit Pada Mein Sant. So yeah, so he has translated this in Hindi poetry from the original Sanskrit. So that was about Bhāvanā Battīsī, and half of our semester is now officially completed. Tattvajñāna Pāṭhamālā Part 1 is done. We'll be starting with the Tattvajñāna Pāṭhamālā Part 2 from the next session. Yes, Belaji, you have a question? Yes.
Yes, I just wanted to know where we can get this book, Dharam Pariksha.
In English, I'll have to check whether it has been translated. In Hindi, I'll share the PDF on the group.
Yes, please, if you can share it. Thank you.
Yes, I'll do that. Yes, definitely. Okay, Shari, let's have Chinmani Stuti again. निज निधि निज में बताई यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए चिन्हवाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार है, उसके लिए चिन्हवाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार है। 9 times नमस्कार। बोले अंतर्मुख मुद्रा बन सर्व जिनेंद्र भगवंतों की जय हो। द्वादशांग में चिन्मयी माता की जय हो। समस्त वितरागी भावनी की महामुनि राजों की जय हो। अहिंसा में जैन धर्म की जय हो। शासन नायक तीर्थंकर वर्धमान स्वामी की जय हो। जय जिनेंद्र एवरीवन।
जय
थैंक यू।
Jinendra.
जय
जय
जिनेंद्र।